Hey guys, the weather is gorgeous here, so I'm out enjoying the warmth. And today we're going to do a painting that I had someone ask for. They asked for to do a detailed sunset. So this is the painting we're going to do. It's of this boat, beautiful purples and blues, and it'll be a long one, but I'll jump right in here right away. Okay, so the first thing we'll put in is the horizon line, which is going to sit just above the halfway mark. So go right across like that. It's pretty hard to get a straight line drawing on my easel here. It's probably too hard. All the way across. Okay. Don't want that to be quite so crazy. We'll add in a few of those little bumps later, so just going to give the idea that there's some here, a few there, those will go there. Okay, on this side, we will take that, make it to about probably there. Okay, and then this, so this is kind of this hill thing, lots of loosey trees. Maybe a little less, too far. Bring down the line. It'd be nice if that line kind of directs towards the boat. And then there's a little bit of this here. And then we lose that line somewhere in there. It will kind of just turn into the water. So we'll get rid of this. It'll get hidden in there anyway. I don't know if we'll add that boat in. We can decide that later. It's super easy to just paint that in later anyway. And we'll do a few little ridges here. And then this guy over here, just a little bit of, and again, lose it in the water. Okay, and then the most important part, which I'm gonna put right about there, is that's gonna be the little bit of reflected light. So I'll go like this, just kind of a thing, keel of the boat. Alright. And we'll go, it's really quite a bit higher, isn't it? The sun's like there and it's kind of pointing towards the sun. Go like that. Honestly, I'm not incredibly happy with that. I'm going to redo the whole thing. All right, so I've drawn up our picture that we have here. So we've got the boat is kind of going to be the main, most important part in getting that reflection coming off of the boat. That'll be something beautiful that we want there. And then the two sides, really simple. We'll probably go pretty dark with those and we'll do those near the end. And then a little bit of the horizon. Other than that, most of the beauty that we're going to have here is from the colors and some of the waves and reflections that we have there too. So to start off with, I'm going to use a Cerulean Blue. Chromium is the exact color that I have, but if you have a cerulean blue, even a cobalt blue, something like that, we're going to go in and start that on the top. The thing that I'm worried about as we go forward, that I'm just going to be really careful to do, is when we get down to the yellow of the sun, obviously we know that blue and yellow, when you mix them, makes green, right? So we don't want that when we put our sun in, suddenly it goes all green on us. So our goal will be to somehow preserve that yellow. There's a few ways we could do that. We could, I'm just putting a little bit of pink in, by the way. We could put the yellow in to begin with and then kind of glaze over it with the blue so that it doesn't have a chance of going crazy. But I'm going to try this. I'm just adding in some, this is Quinacridone Rose as we go down. And then near the bottom it gets crazy purple. So I'm going Quinacridone Rose and Ultramarine, which makes beautiful purples. And we'll go with those down here. I'm just going right over the part that's going to get painted dark because it'll just get covered up. I might just go down to the bottom so that there's not like a weird line. All of that will all get dark, so it should all hide it, but just in case, that'll cover it up. Okay, a little bit of purple on this side too. Now what would be nice, again, we've got this golden yellow, so I'll go purple down here, and here's where we have to be really careful. So I want to get my yellow, and I'll put that in here, and then there's kind of oranges around it, so I'm going to get the oranges, and we'll hopefully, now we're working into purple, which shouldn't hopefully bother us as much. As I'm going to go Quinacridone Rose around the outsides. With that, mix it in there, here. Okay. And I guess we'll go in and add those mountains later. If I go and do them now, they'll bleed into the sun and it won't look good. So we'll just stop there, and that'll be our initial wash for the sky. So I'm going to start our initial wash down below as well. This is going to be a very mirrored process, but this time I'm going to start with the sun. So we're going to go here, and that is coming down. Okay, and then we'll get into our oranges. So I'm just mixing some yellow and a red. And then we'll start working out to our pinks. Okay, and now I need to work fast because this is starting to dry, and the bad part about working from the middle out is I don't know, it's just easy to lose your edges and let them dry out on you before you can get to them. And we are going to cover this up with more of like a grayer, duller wash, but for now I'll just do it purple. Maybe I'll blue it as we go down. Ooh, it's very, very purple. Okay, can't forget the other side. That, just leave that for now. Okay, I'm just putting in ultramarine with a little bit of burnt sienna just to gray it a bit as we get down near the bottom, because it is pretty gray. We can always go over and do it more later, but I thought I may as well kind of get it fading to a bit more of those colors anyway as we get down near the bottom. Won't touch that because it's already fairly dry. Okay, we'll let this dry really nice and well before we go in over top and do anything else. All right, now that that has dried, we are going to do a second wash. Starting up at the top, we're going to work on the clouds up here. So I'm going to go with like a purple. I'm just going to dull it a little bit with some ultramarine. I should have just wetted this out here. Want these edges to be fairly soft. There is kind of an orangey glow on the bottom. We'll see if we can get that. It probably won't show all that well, quite honestly. Get a little bit of that. Okay, and then there's more purple down below as we head down to the water. So we'll just add that in here. Okay, and we have some kind of like almost streaks, I guess, going across. So just put those in like that. Soften that edge. It's dangerous with clouds. Have a lot of hard edges. I have to say I don't feel like I quite have clouds down as far as when to do. There are times when you can do hard edges, but I usually err on the side of having soft, because I just find most of the times that I have hard edges it ends up looking bad. Okay. And we'll pick up this purple again on the other side. And I just want to soften this underneath the sun. Okay. So now I'll give that a little bit to dry, and then I'm going to come in on the dark. We'll do the dark area, and then we'll kind of work our way down to the bottom. As that dries, I decided I'll actually add in some of these waves kind of in here that aren't the dark color, but they're still there. So I'm going for kind of a light purpley pink, and I'm just going to do kind of streaks across basically. And those will meet up eventually with those darker colors. Okay, and then some here. We'll have to do a darker, kind of a more muted blue down here where it starts. But some of these should be good, just breaking up the sun there. Perfect. Okay, why don't we do the muted blue? So for that, what I'll do is just take a blue and burnt sienna, but I'm going to keep it kind of leaning heavily towards the blue side, but it's going to be so kind of a blue, very blue gray. And we'll start up here so that if we don't like the color, we can always go back. It's fairly dark. Trying to get some of these broken lines because they kind of break as they head towards the middle. But I did notice that over here on the left hand side they're almost like full continuous. All comes together, I mean. I'm gonna switch back to a big brush because I'm having trouble keeping up with the amount that there is. Okay, and then this just needs to darken, so down near the bottom it'll be a little less watery, a little more towards the neutral side, not so much a blue. Ooh, splashing all over the place. Go right across, and then we'll work our way up. So again, this time we got to go backwards. So dark here. And I'll lighten it as I go up. Okay, I'm going to mix up a purple, and I'm going to do this, want it fairly blue and fairly light, and I'm just going to go along and put that in for those distant hills. I want the bottom to be very flat. Maybe go even lighter for these ones. Okay, we'll do a little bit over here. We'll probably end up covering it up anyway. Okay, I'm going to do this right hand side, and for this I'm doing really dark burnt sienna and ultramarine, and it's going, I can kind of see the shape that I left here. So I'll just do that in, and then we'll add in some, it's got some little like trees. I should probably switch to even smaller. Well, I'll do the shape of the island first, and then we'll add in smaller trees with the smaller brush. Okay. Okay, before that bottom edge dries, we want to make sure that we can get those dark ripples in here, like that. And it even has the reflection of some of these trees, so just go like this. Right, I'm gonna move over to the boat at this point and just get some initial washes down there. So a lot of it is blue, minus kind of the tops. So I'll just go right in and do that. I'm using Ultramarine. And at this point, what I'll probably do is just leave anything that has that purple reflected. I'll just leave it and won't paint it. Okay, and then on the back side, I'm just going to use the same ultramarine, but I'm going to add in burnt sienna just to make it dark already. We'll probably go over it again with another coat, but it's pretty dark, so we may as well just do all of that. Just trying to make sure that I keep that little bump that comes from where the boat kind of dips in. Okay, and we'll worry about, well, we'll worry about the reflection later. I may have gone a little too dark. See if I can lift out a little bit of this color here on this left side. That would be the one place where there is a bit of a reflection. So if I could lift it out anywhere, that would be where. Do that. So again, ultramarine, burnt sienna, really dark, concentrated. We're going to go over here. I'll probably work from the right side just so I don't get out there and it's all crazy. Hard part is when you're mixing this, it's not convenient. This is one of, I guess, the beauties of using like Payne's Gray or something. I could have used that, but I thought I wouldn't. But then you're having to mix it all and it takes forever. Okay, I just softened the bottom edge and I'm going to move from there on down and kind of just go over some of these spots because it still needs to get darker. Okay, to some degree here we kind of stop and then we meet up with the shadow of the boat, which I'm going to put in now. And that is dark here. Okay, time for the pinky purple. So I'm going to put some up here. Then I'm going kind of just Quinacridone Rose, because here it gets like less purple and more really pink, strong pink. Okay, and we're gonna put the yellow in right there. Just going to try to lift out a little bit in the middle of that yellow, just to lighten it up a little more. So I'm just using a wet brush with no paint on it and rubbing that spot. Try to lift out some of that. Okay, I'm going to go in and do our dark spots here on the boat. So this is just a muted blue. Okay, just straight ultramarine blue, just so that it's still blue, but it's darker. Okay, we're going to add some of these really dark spots on the boat, so like here. Okay, bring out this oar here. Okay, I'll add the rope. I just feel like this board right here is a little too big, too wide, so I'm gonna take off the top part and have that blend into some of the shadow on the boat. And just make it a little skinnier, like so. And I'm going to go define a few edges along the insides of the boat as well. Just a few spots like along here. Bring out a few of these lines. Okay, we're getting close to being done. What I want to do though, what I feel this is missing a little bit, I want to see a little more color here. We've lost, that's just kind of become a purple. And so I want to go in and add some more color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go really fast, fairly wet, and we're going to try to glaze without wrecking everything underneath, and add in kind of a strip of pink. Oh my. Emphasis on not wrecking everything. We'll take the top part of this edge while it's still wet, and I'm just going to work my way up. Go this way. Oh my. All right, gang, a couple more touches to here. Still want to thin this out a little bit more on this side. That, a little more. Right to that post. Perfect. Okay, we're just going to add in some birds flying in the distance here. That was a weird bird. There. That's it, guys. I hope you liked that. Leave a like or subscribe if you did. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see more of, and I look forward to seeing you guys again next time.